This episode of 1v1, the Creator Interview Series, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support this show and the Boss Rush Media family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie, one of your hosts here for the Boss Rush podcast with a special episode of 1v1 with the developers from Muro Studios, Juha and Kim. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Yes, I know I got to know you a little bit via email and before we started recording, but why don't you tell the audience where you guys hail from? Because again, I expressed my gratitude for you recording. It's 1 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States, but for you guys, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's right. You go ahead.
Yeah, we are here at Finland. Basically, Helsinki area, the capital area.
That's what. Helsinki is one of the, many places that is on my list to travel. I hear it's very beautiful. People are very happy there and just a lot of wonderful things I hear. And it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's a great place for sure.
Yeah, you should come and visit. It's a great place to live, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. One of my, I'm just going to completely ask you an offshoot question. So I'm a big food person. So whenever I travel, like Switzerland, Germany, Italy, China, Taiwan, like every time I go somewhere, I primarily focus on the food that I may not be able to get in America. What's something that you would recommend that's a specialty over in Finland?
I would say Karelian pie. Have you heard of Karelian pie?
No, I haven't. Explain what it is.
Okay, so it's called Karelian pie, and what it is, it's basically like rice porridge wrapped in a rye dough. So it's kind of like a pastry, but not really. And then the highlight is that on top of it, you add like a bunch of egg butters. And what egg butter is exactly what it sounds like. You just have butter and egg and you mix it together. And that's kind of the Karelian pie on the bottom is almost like an excuse to be shoving egg butter in your face.
Yeah, because that's what makes things delicious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm hungry. I probably shouldn't have asked that question, but thank you for entertaining me there. So again, this is 1v1. We do record these on occasion when we have the opportunity to speak with content creators, developers, publishers. I recently had an interview with Guillaume at Dear Villagers Publishing. I made a lot of connections at PAX East. And that's where I actually got to demo Doomblade, which we'll get into later, but I know that's your baby and we'll get into that. So that's how I have stumbled upon, you guys, and I wanted to get to know you, get to know your game, your process, because personally, out of the whole Boss Rush community, I am a huge fan of indie games. I like supporting smaller developers. I am a big Zelda fan, Nintendo, but other than that, kind of
you have beautiful stuff.
Yes.
I have only junk.
Gorgeous.
I don't know about that because some of my family and parents would call this junk, unfortunately.
Oh no, that's
they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, that's Shield. What? I want that.
Yeah, so they don't. Yeah, they don't know. They're missing out.
Again, the Majora's Mask.
Yes, Majora's Mask. So quick history, if you don't mind. I got to show my son, he is 7 now, so maybe like a year ago, the Ocarina of Time. And so he got to understand Zelda. And then ever since then, I didn't even make him. For Halloween, every year, I want to be Link for Halloween. I want to be Link for Halloween. So
Nice.
I would dress up with him. At first, I was Zelda, but I didn't want to be a princess anymore. So one year I was Fi from Skyward Sword, and another year I was Skull Kid, and I wore that mask for Halloween.
Oh, well, that's
Nice.
so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, why don't we just get started, please? I know it's a very generalized statement, but tell me about you guys. Tell me about your history with game development. How you guys got to know each other and how you got started.
Kim, go ahead.
Oh, this time it's me first. Okay, well, for game
No
development,
pressure.
I don't have a history as long as Juha. So I've been making games professionally only in one company, and that is Muro Studios.
Mhm.
We've been around, what, almost 10 years, but not quite.
I think we founded in 2015 spring. So what does it
Yeah,
make? 8 years.
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're coming
And
upon a major milestone. Congrats on.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, still alive. Our company. That's something. No, but like, so I met Juha at Aalto University. It's one of the bigger universities here in Finland, and there's like a game development master's program there.
Mhm.
So that's where we got together and started making games. And I think before Aalto, I hadn't made games much. A little bit. I have like a bachelor's in computer science, so at the in the last year, I think we made like a couple of games there, and that's where it kind of took off for me.
Oh, that's great. Did you at least go into it with a passion for gaming? Like, what made you kind of shift gears and really truly pursue game development?
Well, yeah, games have been a thing for me for a very long time. Again, not as long as Juha. Juha beats me
Ah,
there.
come on! It's not like this is getting stupid now.
It is a competition, god damn it. And I'm losing. But no, like when I was in first grade, we got the 8-bit Nintendo and the most magical gaming experience, The Legend of Zelda, the original one.
Yes.
That was it for me. It was like actually when I turned 40, Juha bought me I didn't own the game, but he got it somewhere on eBay. The actual like 8-bit Nintendo Zelda was
The golden cartridge with 5 screws and all the things inside. It's
yeah,
like
not like a
not 3 screws, but
I
5 screws.
I don't know what that means. But I have five.
It means it's the first edition, the very first edition.
Yes, so basically, yeah, I'm like a
Wow, that's incredible. What was
Zelda
your
fan.
experience playing with the original Zelda? Sorry, as soon as you mentioned Zelda, I'm going to go into it because I obviously, well, obviously, not that you'd know this, I was born after the original Zelda was made, not much long after, so I didn't get to play it till within the last few years. Now that I can go back
Mm,
and play all these
yeah,
retro games, I
yeah,
loved it, but it was hard. It's not like a lot of games today that
yeah.
tell you what to do. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
for
know.
sure. And I think like a lot of the 8-bit Nintendo games haven't aged as well as say Super Nintendo games, for instance. Like
Yeah.
Super Nintendo is more like it's closer to the era where pixel art kind of peaked,
Mm.
and then we started going into 3D with PlayStation 1 and so on. But like, so Super Nintendo games still, at least to me, look pretty cool. But like a lot of Nintendo games, they just look pretty crap. The colors are what they are. I used to love them, obviously, and I'm not like dissing them or anything, but yeah, I don't think. But like some of the Super Nintendo games, I think you could still like publish today and do just fine with those aesthetics.
Yeah.
So,
I've also noticed, well, granted, now we're going into more of the kind of Game Boy type pixel graphics, but I noticed that's become very popular too. Because when I was on the PAX show floor, there were a lot of games that kind of touted the Game Boy like style pixel art,
yeah.
and I think that aged okay. I think it's okay. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
I'm rambling. Yuha, how about you? Your history behind game development and what got you to Muro Studios?
Well, well, I before the Aalto University, I was a level designer for 3 years in the game company here in Helsinki, and I was working on a AAA title called Ridge Racer Unbounded, which was an
Ooh.
interesting project to be
Mm.
part of as a as my first like real job in game industry. And before that, I got the bachelor in computer arts.
Okay.
And oh yeah, actually, I was during that bachelor. I was for 1 year in Scotland, in Dundee. There was this Dare to Be Digital, like student game making competition thingy during the summer. That was actually also really awesome experience.
Oh,
Now I
nice.
suddenly remembered that one as well. But yeah, basically, I also have like played games from very like from a toddler or something, because yeah, I have three older brothers who were playing with this Commodore 64 magical machine.
Wow.
And I was there annoying them, trying to crawl next to the joystick. Let me play. But I can imagine seeing those, especially on Commodore 64. I'm not even saying the graphics are crappy; they are trippy. Yeah. And a lot of, well, I mean, was it like 16 colors you could have, but 4 different colors at the same time. But there was like weird loading screens and really trippy music with the SID chip and all that kind of magical stuff. But yeah, since really super young, I was playing those games, and obviously because of my older brothers, they were like always showing me what's the cool stuff, and all that kind of grew up with that, and so.
Well, that's great. It's nice to bond with family or something at a young age.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
me, I'm an only child, and my mom hated video games. She thought they were an invention to make children stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, but
That's one way to look at it, I guess.
yeah, no, it's like some people just aren't into video games. She just took it to here, but
Okay.
I was lucky because one of my older cousins lived with us for a little bit when he went to college, and he played a lot of video games. So one of my earliest gaming memories would be sneaking off to his room and watching him play a lot of NES games, all the way up through Ocarina of Time, which again, that's what got me into Zelda. And
Yeah.
it, not interest, but the amount of time I spent with gaming has kind of gone up and down as, I graduated from college and had a career. But when I got with Boss Rush, so I could be more involved with the community, and it's astounding what we can achieve with game creation. And for me, I believe video games are an art form, and there's so many different ways to express it. Are you guys playing any games right now? What have you been playing? Or you've been hard at work? Because I know release day is coming up, or I think it is. I don't want to.
Yeah, well, I haven't really had that much time at the very moment. Well, I have 3 small daughters at home, and I have this deadline coming, so no, not that much games right at the very moment for me. But yeah, I have an endless wish list, obviously, on Steam as everyone else, and yeah, it's can't wait to get and start shortening that at least at some point. Yeah.
Kim, how about you? Is there anything that you're playing or you're a fan of in recent years?
I'm trying to think what's the sort of newest game that I'm playing, because I get stuck with games a lot. I just keep playing the same game. The one I play most is Magic Arena, so Magic the Gathering. I played way too much Magic.
Kim is master in Magic.
Well, not exactly, but yeah, it's a habit I won't be able to shake off, I think. But the other one is Hades.
Such
a
good
keep
game.
Playing that game, yeah, it's incredible. Can't wait for the second one.
Second one, yeah. Oh my god, nice, very very nice.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.
Well, shifting gears, let's talk about a day in the life of work for you, which I know is a kind of a general question because I'm sure it depends where in development you are with your project. But let's just say like months coming to your release date of a game. What is a day in the life of a dev?
Which one? Which one?
Well,
Oh, it's your turn. It's your turn.
you mean like what happens every day? Well, it starts at 6 a.m. With my 3-year-old daughter waking me up, and then I take her to the kindergarten, and my partner Camilla stays with the twins, the 1.5-year-olds at home at the moment, and then I take the 3-year-old to kindergarten, and I come here to the office, which is a mess, as you can see, and then and then I'm here till what is it, at 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to get the most out of it, develop what we still have time on Doomblade, and then I pick her up from kindergarten, have the family time, and maybe when they are asleep, I come back here and do something. It's been quite a hectic time now these last weeks, but it can be a lot of fun, even though a bit crazy. But that's the every day
Gotcha.
during these like crunch weeks.
Okay. Do you guys work together in the same office space, or you do all things kind of remote and just call or ping each other?
Mostly remote, but I do. I mean, I don't live far away from the office. The office is really close to where Juha lives. That's how we kind of set things up, because he has the kids. So he really needed like a space away from home to work.
Okay.
So we kind of made
I
it so
see.
it's like a 5-minute walk
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
to the office, and for me it's like 5 minutes by bus, so it's not
But
bad.
and it's really good that we can have also face to face like here, and
Yeah, it would be
especially
really
the
neat face to face.
especially the whiteboard is a magical place where
Is that
design.
where ideas are born?
Yes, that's
Yes.
the magic place.
Yeah, but most of the time when Juha is getting up and stuff, I'm hard at work sleeping. Then I sleep some more, and then I sleep some more, and then I just get up, eat breakfast, and come to the computer, and
But
Juha.
but you are the one who keeps the game design ideas fresh by actually playing games at the moment, because I just don't have that time.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of
Someone
inspiration
has to do it.
from Magic the Gathering, but like,
Yeah, well,
I don't think that's helping.
but I think we have discussed this before, because you have played so much the Magic. I think that must have really helped for your like design ideas and how you come up with
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of
the
it helps with the game design brain for sure.
yeah.
Nice. Well, you know what? I keep skirting around the actual like big topic, so I'm just going to go straight to it. So, and I'm pulling it up now, so viewers can get a good summary of it. So, you guys are developing, putting your final touches, hopefully, on Doomblade, and I'm just going to read the summary here because I don't want to butcher it. Deep underground, Gloom Girl discovers Doomblade, a sentient weapon hell-bent on escape after eons in chains. Together, Doom and Gloom, I love that, embark on a vengeful quest to unlock the powerful abilities and destroy the Dreadlords once and for all in this 2D action Metroidvania, sorry, that's my fault. So I just want to start off with, again, I demoed this at PAX. I'm trying to remember if this was the one where I had the option to use an Xbox controller, but I will say like it clearly is more meant for a PC, or at least it definitely felt more intuitive and natural on like a PC mouse and everything. I first of all love the art style. however you guys came up with that, which I do want you to talk about, that's fantastic. And the combat of which you control Doom Girl is incredible and very buttery smooth. So, with that intro, I'd like to just kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it. Tell me where the inspiration for the art design is, and also gameplay. Like, how did you decide on that methodology of how the character moves and interacts with the environment? I know that was a lot. Sorry. I'm just excited.
That was a lot, yeah. Well, since you asked about art first, I can let Juha once again
But
start,
if
because Juha is the one behind the art.
but but if we go gameplay first, as we do, then I guess we should go to the core of things first.
Why are you making this so hard, Juha? God. Well, if you insist, I guess that's kind of
I think it
how
would be
we
a nice way to
how we think about it in the company is gameplay first. Yes, that's kind of for sure. But this is like sounding like you're making yourself less important than you are, Juha. That's
I'm not.
that's so Finnish. That's so Finnish.
No. I want to have the how it all, and then there's the art, and it's.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm building it up for you.
Exactly.
Okay, well, like we had in our previous games already experimented with these kind of new ways of combat design, new kind of design within combat and movement in 2D platformers. So we knew we wanted to do something like that. We kind of came to the conclusion that there's methods in these games are kind of under. Oh, man. My English isn't working today.
Oh, it's okay. I mean,
it's the same. It's too. Oh, how can I say this in a positive way? Well, let's just put it this way: there's a lot of room for innovation, and we felt like we were doing something right with our previous game, so we wanted to do something bigger.
No, I think that makes sense to me, because the way you're able to attack and move through the environment it relies a lot on pinpoint precision, and it's fun. It makes me feel like I'm kind of floating here, there, and everywhere. I know this is a completely different analogy, but like one of my favorite movies when I was younger was like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, just because the movement was always so fluid, and you're just always. And I'm also a karate nerd, but obviously not like the same genre or anything. But the fact that you can maneuver your mouse and direct your character to slice through enemies, but continue moving on, it just felt very natural and intuitive.
No, yeah, I'm like super happy that you came up with an analogy like that, because like that's exactly what we were going for. That you have this freedom, and yeah, I know what you're talking about with the Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon like that. That's kind of how I wanted it to feel. The inspiration wasn't really actually there. It was actually in Attack on Titan, because in that one they move freely with those. I wonder what you call those things. They're wires or whatever, but like. So they shoot these wires on Titans, and then they kind of fly through the air. So it's pretty similar. They can kind of fly through the air and do these melee attacks. So we wanted to do something like that. But the Kung Fu look at it is actually closer to it, because we're not using wires.
Right.
Kung Fu actors, presumably. But yeah. Anyway.
You mentioned. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was like, you mentioned your previous games, and I was going to ask about that. So, what I assume there was a lot of influence then from your first game or games. It's the Shadow Bug series, right? Correct?
Yeah. This is kind of a continuation for us. That in Shadowbug we were doing a lot with like this kind of a simple core, and just trying to see where just the core could take us, without expanding it too much. But there were a lot of limitations with that. So it's not like the game was like super big or anything. We're very proud of it and so on, but we really wanted to do something bigger and to expand on this kind of combination of combat and movement. So basically in Doomblade, the way it works is from the very get-go, you have this powerful ability that you try out in packs, that you can just click on enemies or with gamepad aim on enemies and just push a button, and you'll fly onto the enemy and attack them and defeat them. At least if it's a weak enemy, you'll defeat them
Right. So
right off the bat. But
what elements of Doomblade make it a Metroidvania?
yeah, that's the having the dynamic of finding new power-ups that unlock new areas in a large interconnected world.
Excellent.
That's basically, yeah, that's Metroidvania for you.
Yeah, pretty basic, but was there any inspiration as to why you went with that genre versus, I don't know, any of the many genres you can pick from?
It's the best
So
genre there
much.
is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Yeah. But that's pretty much like it, because like we both love the genre, and then one day we were thinking what we could do with this mechanic of ours, and we just started
Mhm.
talking about Metroidvania, and we had a whiteboard, and
Mm.
we were
Yeah.
thinking how could we work this mechanic into like a Metroidvania? What kind of abilities could we partially split it into, and what kind of abilities could we use to expand it? And then we just started putting ideas on the whiteboard, and we noticed that it was like super easy to come up with the ideas. And they sounded really cool.
Nice.
And
I know.
also obviously like we really saw, like as Kim said, there's a lot of room for innovation, and we had this new core game mechanic, and we love Metroidvania, and we were like, wow, okay, I think we really have something actually new in gameplay terms, and and even all the level design has to be really unique because the core gameplay is really unique and everything. So we really believe that we have created something actually like new way of playing for Metroidvania genre. So
Nice.
we are really excited to see how the community is gonna play it.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a beloved genre. I know it's pretty popular as well, but for you to bring, a fresh take to it, definitely
Mm.
should capture the audience. At least I certainly hope so.
Mm.
Um, but now on to you, Yuha. Can you please tell me about kind of the inspiration and process of designing it? Because I'm bringing up pictures and short clips and stuff, and it's very colorful, especially with lots of reds. Just absolutely amazing design. I would love to know your creative process and how that was for you.
Well, unfortunately, I lost you in the very beginning, but I think I just got the main idea. So,
I'm
uh,
sorry. When I'm
no,
excited,
no,
I
it's
talk
fine.
fast.
No, I mean the interconnection or something
Yeah, the
was
connection.
there was a bit, but okay, yeah, where to start? I guess with the earlier game, Shadowbug, we were trying a few different styles, and we ended up making this black silhouette style. I guess mostly because it was so fast to create. It was one of the main reasons why I think we took it, but we also believed it was quite unique looking.
Mhm.
But after the release and everything, I mean, it got like pretty good success in the size of it, the game. But still, like afterwards, I think we realized that yeah, the black silhouette style wasn't really that unique or anything. There was a lot of games with that style, more or less. But with Doomblade, when we in the very early stages of the project, when we were just planning the ideas and everything, and I was doing some like first concept art sketches, like how it could look and stuff. I I think there was this strong like urge that it should look at least somehow unique, and
Mhm.
obviously it was exciting but also stressful for me, at least on that point, like because I remember in Shadowbug there was this one background. I think I was like kind of in the forest area of the game, and that was somehow uh, painterly looking, and I think that was kind of the idea also for this, that okay, I really want to try some sort of like hand drawn and how do you say, is picturesque actually a
Mhm.
word maybe like painterly, hand-drawn look. And
Yep.
while searching for the style, then yeah, I was like searching for different, really like just searching for different type of brushes in Photoshop, and I found something that I really liked, and I thought like, okay, like how I created all the characters and environment pieces. I first draw it with the outlines, and I found really nice feeling, like pencil looking brush. It really looked like I would be drawing with an actual pencil on paper, and it also like it felt really nice, and somehow like, yeah, this looks cool. And then just started adding color, and yeah, I don't know if like if there's any sort of magic thing. It just came out of after a few tests and different brushes that I felt like, okay, this looks nice and something I want to continue with. And also obviously Kim liked the because I made this one like three-headed dog creature. It was kind of like, what is it, Kerberus?
Oh,
With this kind of like robotic. So it was this kind of cyborg Kerberus. Is that how you pronounce it in English? Maybe. But
close. Yeah, Cerberus,
yeah,
Kerberos.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so it was like because we knew there could be something evil sci-fi but still fantasy in Doomblade. I mean, it was a big mess in its early days, the vision, but I think that was some kind of like point when the art style got like made, when I made that character, because there was also really a lot of the technicalities, how I wanted to create and animate the creatures in Doomblade, and that also happened on that one.
Now with Doom Girl and the Blade, did those particular character creations after the trial and error, was that born from the whiteboard? Were you guys just tossing ideas back and forth, or were you just designing and passing them along to Kim?
Yeah, that's the main character is a interesting story, because for a long time we had something similar as the main character as in Shadowbug,
Okay.
this kind of ninja bug thingy with the, but at some point we started thinking more about the actual like branding. Like the name of the game is Doomblade, so what would that actually mean in terms of visuals and lore and music and all that like artsy stuff.
Mhm.
And I think, did we have Andrew already when we started planning Gloom Girl? No, I think we first made. I think we first designed the character, and then after our game writer Andrew actually made the name Gloom Girl and Gloomlings and all that cool lore he came up with. But I think I got lost what we were actually talking about.
No, it's okay. I just found the main character very interesting because, when she gets the Doom Blade, there's obviously that thirst for revenge and stuff like
Mm.
that. So part of me is starting to already think, oh my goodness, is this gonna actually end up being bad? Like, is the Blade gonna, I don't know, like turn around and betray her, or something's gonna happen? So
Mm.
it's a very interesting concept. I'm wondering if there's any consequences to their partnership throughout the game, or maybe not a bad consequence. Maybe it's a good consequence and they grow together. So I'm sure you don't want to spoil it, but that leads to my question, what, as the creators of this game, what's your number one or top things that you want players to get from Doomblade?
Do you, Kim, want to start this time?
Well, I mean, I feel like I might be repeating myself a little bit, but like I really just, for the main thing for me is to deliver a cool new way of playing Metroidvania. So basically, the core game mechanic, that's what I'm most excited about. That's what I want people to, from the very first fight, be like, like, okay, this is something different. Now you can,
Mm.
and hopefully that they'll be like, this is awesome. And one of the things I also kind of want is that maybe in the first one fight they're gonna think like, this game is so easy if you can just kill everybody like this. But then when they get into say the next fight, it's not gonna be that easy.
Okay.
That's kind of, I'm kind of hoping
Mm.
for reactions like that. So for me, it's kind of the biggest hopes are in the game mechanic stuff.
Okay. Yeah, well now I'm like super intrigued because I only got to play such a short amount of it. Now I'm interested to see how the enemy difficulty or enemy type will change. Um,
Mm.
what's your ballpark like amount of gameplay hours you think would take an average player to complete Doomblade?
That's a really hard question for us.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We
Yeah,
have
but like,
some.
I want you. Do you remember what QA said? Was it
I
something
think
like,
QA said something from 12 to 15 hours. Their
yeah,
first playthrough.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that?
But I mean, it surely depends a lot on the player. Like,
Mm,
if you are really, you know how Metroidvanias go, or
yeah.
if you're a hardcore gamer, I think it can be faster, obviously.
Yeah,
But
but
then again,
on the other hand, like if you
yeah,
really are into Metroidvanias, it can also take longer because then you
yeah,
have the Metroidvania way of playing, which is like every corner needs to be explored and you
yeah.
need to
That's
Exactly.
find every goddamn secret.
Okay.
yeah. That 100% needs
Yes.
to be done.
Mhm. All right. Well, just trying to think. We're covering a lot of ground already. Well, again, I want to bring PAX back into it. Was this the first time your games have been displayed at PAX, or has this been? Have you been have your games displayed at PAX before? Like, how was that experience?
Well, unfortunately, the developers, I mean, me and Kim,
Mhm.
we didn't have the chance to be at PAX, so because we were just super busy this whole
Of course.
spring developing everything we just can with the time we have. So the publisher was there
Yep.
showcasing the Doomblade for us at PAX. But we were with our last game at PAX. It was like in
Well,
2016 or
Juha
something.
was.
Yeah, yeah. And it was yeah. I was there alone with Shadowbug, and it was a interesting thing to have for 3 days. But yeah, fortunately there was this kind like staff people who actually, I just asked them, could you please check that nobody takes my computers or whatever. I can go and have a break or something. It was
Mhm.
they were really like helpful and kind people there helping. So it was actually pretty okay. But obviously 3 days talking with so many people, it's a lot.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, your publisher brought that to PAX East. It's Iceberg, right? Iceberg Games.
Hmm.
When the event was over, did they bring back any feedback to you? How does that work when working with Iceberg?
Yeah, I think they said like that most of the people who played it were really excited, and also what we were super happy to hear was about the gamepad controls, because that's something really new in the game project that happened like in the beginning of this year. And obviously we were really stressed because the game was designed like on the mouse and keyboard. But
Mm-hmm.
now we were like suddenly we got the opportunity that there was a guy who was good in designing gamepad things, and it came out super nice. And we got, at least we think we got the feeling good, but obviously we have no idea like if people are gonna enjoy it or not. But then we got the feedback from PAX, from Iceberg, that people who want to play with gamepad Metroidvanias, they also like love the gamepad. So
That's
it was
that's good feedback to hear
yeah,
because
exactly.
I tried both, and I'll admit, like, if I had to pick the two, mouse and
Mm,
keyboard felt better. But
yeah.
at home, I don't have that. I have a Steam Deck, but I don't have
Mm,
a gaming PC. So the fact that if you guys sort of pursue the console version of it, it's nice to know like I'll still be able to play Doomblade even though I don't have a mouse and keyboard. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, after playing it with mouse and keyboard, it felt super awesome to be able to sit on the couch and play it on big screen, and it actually feels awesome. So it's I'm like super happy that we have those both, and they
Yes.
feel really smooth.
absolutely. Speaking of conventions, I believe Gamescom is late summer. Is it in Germany, I think? I'm trying to see where it's going
Yeah,
to be this year.
Köln, Köln. I don't know how do you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's there. Are you guys going to that one or going to have your game displayed there?
We were actually last year. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not sure. Are we going this year as well? We'll see.
Okay. Well, again, that goes with the time period. So why don't you just tell me, like, is the official release date set in stone for Doomblade? Because I know the Steam page says May 31st, I think.
Yes, it's gonna happen soon.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, so at the date of this recording for our listeners, it's May 19th. So
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I talk like I'm helping you make the game. You guys
You are
are
already part of the team.
yes, I'm cheering you on.
Nice.
So I'll admit it must feel stressful, right? The last bit of weeks. But what are you guys doing now at this point? Is it QA? Are you working with QA a lot, or is it like what's the crunch now?
There's a lot of polish
Polish.
stuff. So like all the critical stuff has been dealt with, and now the majority of the stuff is just smoothing those edges.
Mhm.
And obviously there's infinite amount of little edges we could smooth out, but
Yes.
there's this like prioritizing is really like
Mm.
something we have to do all the time with because there's obviously so many things we would still like to have or do, but the time is now to just try to polish something that we still can.
Okay. Is the idea of maybe DLC in the cards, or are you kind of like you're one and done with your games?
Well, certainly not one and done. We
Mm.
already have like a couple of ideas for like updates we want to do for the game, which
Mhm.
aren't going to be a paid DLC. When it comes to paid
Nice.
DLC, we haven't yet
Uh-huh.
planned that far, but it's certainly like a possibility. We'll have to see how things go. I mean, first we have to. We're focusing on all the stuff we want to do on the post-release
Right.
update. So, but yeah, it's not gonna be like we just shove it in on Steam at the end of this month and then never touch the game project again.
Okay. All right, that was going to be my next question. So for now, and forgive me if I missed this information, is the May 31st release going to be strictly on Steam/PC and then maybe consoles at a later date?
Yeah, we would love to have the game on consoles, but yeah, that's something we need to figure out after
Right.
the PC release and how things go, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously would love to have it on consoles as well.
Okay. I kind of one more question to kind of round everything out, and it's one of my side questions because it's fun. As a fan of indie games, I love supporting them, especially if they have the opportunity to go physical, which I know this isn't part of the discussion, but this is just a hypothetical, like a question for fun. If you had the opportunity to create a physical in the future for your games like Doomblade, what would be your ideal like collector's edition? Would it be like a Doomblade like plushie with Doom Girl being a stuffy, pins, an art book? I personally would love to see an art book, but
I want
like
it. I want it all. I want it all.
Yeah, I think the one thing I want with that like would really fit this game is that it would come with some kind of a blade. And I mean, it could be like a foam blade or something, so they actually beat people with it or something, so that it doesn't hurt. But it would be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, so maybe some kind of a foam blade would be nice.
Foam blade, or I know the Tears of the Kingdom for Zelda. Sorry, Zelda again. But Japan only, there's like a replica of the decayed blade and it lights up. And I'm like, oh my gosh! So imagine having the Doomblade on display and it lights up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
insane.
All right.
But
Well,
yeah.
let me just kind of get this summary back around. So for, again, everyone that's listening, thank you, Kim and Juha at Muro Studios. You guys are working with Iceberg Games for Doomblade. Again, it's a 2D action Metroidvania that will be coming out on Steam May 31st. When this gets published, I believe the game would have just released. This will probably come out the first weeks of June, and we'll keep you posted, you guys. So if anyone loves unique gameplay, a striking visual art style, and Metroidvania, or all the above, I recommend checking this game out. If you can't get it right away, at least wish list it. I've also learned that just simply wish listing a game is very important for the developers and
Yes.
publishers on Steam. So I myself make a conscious effort to wish list, even though I might know I might buy the game anyway. Actually, one more question. Do you know if this will be Steam Deck compatible, since it is Steam?
Yes, it is Steam Deck compatible. Yes.
Hey!
There
All right.
will be more information about this later.
And because of the gamepad compatibility, it's actually playable on Steam Deck from the
Yes.
get-go, as you would be playing with the gamepad, but with Steam
Yes.
Deck.
That's right. Oh, so perfect. So I'm really glad you guys were able to work out gamepad controls. So I'm very much looking forward to playing it on my Steam Deck.
Yay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for the technical difficulties in the beginning, but again,
No worries.
Doomblade was one of the games that stuck out to me from PAX, so I was diligent about trying to track you guys down to have the opportunity to get to know you guys and just say you've done great work. I wish you a most successful launch.
Thank
If
you
there's
so
ever
much.
Thank you so much.
if there's ever a time down the line you want to do a quick chat with us to promote your game or anything like that, let me know. But until then, would you like to share with the audience either where people could find either you or your studio? Any future fans? Where can people find you?
I think the best place to find us right now is on Steam under Doomblade. I mean, that's where we want people to be at. So
Yeah.
get to Steam and check out Doomblade.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
That's the place to be. That's the place to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And provide feedback that we want physical copies and collector's edition. I want a foam sword and an art book.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
Blue
yeah,
Girl and all those. What was the name of the leggy ball character? Do you remember, Kim? The
Vinewalker?
Winewalker was the name of that funny creature that you cut its legs with Doomblade and all that fun stuff.
Oh man, I can't wait. Is that just a different enemy or is that a boss?
It's just a random cute ball with long legs that you can cut. It's fun.
Oh
I
my
would love
god.
to. I need that plush. It's
Yes. Maybe make his legs like magnetic. So you can
exactly.
attach it.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds absolutely delightful. I'm looking forward to seeing that enemy and your bosses too. I can't wait to see what you guys do with bosses with that gameplay. So,
Yeah,
It's great to hear.
it's super interesting to see.
well, thank you again. Again, this is Stephanie from the Boss Rush Network here doing 1v1. Everybody, have a great day. Bye.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
1v1, the creator interview series, is a product of Boss Rush Media LLC and part of the Boss Rush Podcast Supplemental Podcast. This show is hosted by Celeste Roberts. You can also hear interviews from other Boss Rush Media members on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at FairyCrypt. To get updates on the latest episodes, follow the Boss Rush Podcast, Boss Rush Media, and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms, or subscribe to the Boss Rush podcast feed in your favorite podcast application. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.